Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. This is your sign and confirmation that a new chapter is starting in your life. So prepare yourself for a greater revelation of yourself and some wonderful blessings that are coming towards you. Today we'll be talking about few signs that may be happening to you right now as you're moving through that transformative unique time and you're waking up to a greater realization of yourself, and you may recognize that there are some changes that you are experiencing and you may don't know how to put them in words. So recently I felt like I need to talk about this more often because so many people are going through what we call a spiritual awakening, and I'm receiving questions every single day like, I'm sensing this, I'm feeling that, what's happening? So I want to talk about that. So what happened today in the morning after I did some yoga and I took some time for myself, I've received some truly great inspiration and I've started to write it down, and then I've asked myself how I feel right now about this present energy, the collective energy, and I wrote things down. So the first sign that you may be experiencing right now is that suddenly you've started questioning your labels and beliefs. And if we look into the quote of Jim Rohn, he said that your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. If we truly want to change and transform, we firstly need to question our labels and beliefs we are carrying on. Because, you know, in yesterday's video we were talking about things you're not defined by. And we need to become aware of what is our definition of ourselves? What is our definition of life? What is our definition of God or universe or divine force? Or if we believe in any of that, what are our definitions about all of that? And we need to be clear on that. We need to gain that greater clarity over the definitions we are clinging on to them. Because we may recognize that our life is a reflection of that. We can't fully change until we let go of the limited beliefs which are not allowing us to change. We can't fully transform until we fully recognize why we can't transform. What is putting us into that state of being stuck. And I've made one video where I was talking about percentage of how much of actual happiness is in your hands. And based by psychology, it is being said that only 10% of your happiness is coming from your external environment. Right? So we need to recognize that it's not about where we are, but what kind of beliefs and labels we are carrying in about where we are and who we think we are. So as we are moving through that stage of awakening, a greater realization of the self, we may recognize that we are much more than we've been ever told. It comes to everything. When it comes to biology, when it comes to psychology, when it comes to neuroscience, neuroscientists are finding out over and over again how quantum our brains, and it means in neuroscience is called mind is called brain in action. So mind and brain is kinda the same. As brain is quantum, mind is quantum, and vice versa. The thing is that we have so many limited ideas about what we are and who we are, and as we move through that spiritual awakening, we may recognize that we are quantum. So our beliefs, if we are still carrying beliefs, they should be quantum as well. And quantum means that it is infinite, that it is unlimited, that it holds infinite potentials within. So the greatest belief you could carry within your mind is that you are infinite. If that's so, you can experience anything you choose to, and later we will be talking more about it. So if you've suddenly started questioning your labels and beliefs, the only reason for that is so you would slowly let go of it. You can only let go of what you are aware of, right? So writing things down, what you're recognizing, what kind of labels are limiting you will help you to fully become aware of them. When you're triggered to think that way, what happens that you've started to believe that you are the way you are? Who told you that? And what makes you think that you're still that kind of a person? That you still can't achieve that, or can't create that, or whatever it is. Maybe your environment is reaffirming to you why you are the way you are, but remember that your environment will change when you will change. As again Jim Rohn said, your life does not get better by chance, but by change. So remind yourself about it. The second sign you may recognize right now, truly beautiful one, is a spontaneous feelings, or spontaneous feelings like you would be on a new earth. So what it means? Spontaneously, we may experience that internal sensation like we are not on the same earth anymore. Even though we are still in a similar environment, but our senses are sensing new energy. Our senses are sensing more beauty, more colors, more wonder, more possibilities, more opportunities. And it feels like we are attracting kinder people, more loving people, more compassionate people, and we are attracting more wonders and beauty. And we go into nature and suddenly all butterflies are flying around us, playing around us, and we hear more wonderful sounds of birds. And we go to the ocean and we always experience that gentleness of waves, and it just feels like there's something different about my life. There's something different about this place where I am right now. Even though it feels like it is just spontaneous, like only here and there you experience that, and then you go back into certain stressful situations and you experience sadness, and you go through those ups and downs and you experience mood shifts. It is still happening, all of that, and there are triggers of anger, and you may experience some emotional wounds. But still, spontaneously, this new energy hits you and you experience goosebumps, and it is traveling upwards in your through your spine, and it just feels like something powerful is waking up within you. Is that you? Are you experiencing that? Write in the comments below how you feel about it, and let's raise some love, my friends, to uplift one another. Let me know how you feel about it, because why you feel the spontaneous energy shifts as you would be on a new earth. The universe always responds to your frequency. Because of the changes you're doing or working on yourself when it comes to your mind, perception, labels, limiting beliefs, and elevation of your emotions, you're starting to emanate a completely new frequency, new vibration, new energy. And that's why the universe is slowly projecting back to you glimpses of what is waiting you on the other side of change, on the other side of letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore. So the universe always responds to your frequency. Because of the changes you're doing on yourself, you're starting to sense glimpses of what is waiting for you on the other side of change. You know, I love the words how Dr. Joe Dispenza says, crossing the river of change. And that's exactly what is happening right now. Many of us are crossing that river of change. And before crossing that river, it may be scary. We may be afraid that it will, it will move us, or it will shake us, or even it will even wash us away. We may be afraid that there's something under the surface, like something can bite you, something can hurt you. You don't know what's in the water, right? So it may feel scary, you know, that path of transformation, crossing that river of change may be scary. But still, you sense like you must do it. There's something like a greatness, your inner greatness is calling you. You need to do that. It's, you know, as I'm coming from extreme sports, freestyle mountain biking, I was doing that truly consistently for over 13 years. And in that sport, you always know that it's scary to do a certain trick on your bike in the air while you're jumping. It's always scary, and you know that you can hurt yourself. But still something, you know, like an inner inspiration or inner fire is calling you that you need to try it. So same is here when it comes to that transformation, but we are not doing that for a certain satisfaction of ego, as I often sensed it in the sport. I'm doing that to prove myself to others. When it comes to that spiritual transformation, we are also crossing that river, and we are also sensing the being scared, being afraid, fear of getting hurt. But just that on the other side, Spirit is calling us to move through it, not to show yourself to others or prove yourself to others, but actually to show to yourself what life is all about, to remind yourself what life is all about. So Spirit is calling you so you would remember who you are. So Spirit is calling you to cross the river of change so you would remember who you are, and that's what's happening, my friends. So you may sense fear, but there's nothing to be afraid. You may sense a certain, maybe resentment, you're still self-sabotaging, but there's no need to do that. You will learn that sooner or later. The third sign you may experience right now is a greater awareness over your self-talk, and you're now learning from your inner critic. Isn't that a completely different approach as we are used to? People are saying ignore your inner critic, ignore your self-talk, and many other words we may hear, but we are learning now from our inner critic. We need to become aware of what is happening within us. So what came to me today in the morning is that, of course, we all know most of your self-talk is a product of your environment when you were little. Don't trust it, learn from it, and be compassionate with it as it would be like your inner child. Don't force it to change because it won't. We all know we can't force changes. We need to flow with changes, right? You can't force somebody to change. You can be an example of change, and maybe that somebody will just flow with you as you're changing, and slowly that somebody will start changing as well. So, my friends, be aware of your inner critic and kindly redirect its attention to something more inspiring, something more positive. Maybe this video may be an act of redirecting for you your attention. Don't force it to change, but rather redirect its attention to something more inspiring. You know, we have in our brain, it's called RAS, the Reticular Activating System, and its function is to see, to always catch in your reality what feels the most important to you. So it means that For example, when you say you will buy a new car, you suddenly started seeing that same or similar car all around you. It's same when it comes to your self-talk. When you focus on kindness, when you focus on abundance, when you focus on compassion, you will start seeing more information, books, people, things, examples of how to be that, what it means to be compassionate, what it means to be kind, what it means to be loving. So you see, our brain is designed to lead us into the direction which feels the most important to us. So if you want to fully use that what is called reticular activating system in your brain, redirect your attention to something more inspiring, something more positive. And that's what you can learn from your inner critic. Your inner critic can remind you of where you're coming from. But at the same time, it is reminding you that you can change if you're just listening its inner critic. If you're just listening its critical thoughts. It is reminding you that it is your job to change. It will not change you. It will only make you feel stuck. So always listen to your inner critic, but do not trust it. Be aware of it, but do not trust it. Recognize it so you can slowly redirect its attention. If it is like your inner child, what is truly amazing to me is that you're always feeding it with information that you perceive. But before you start feeding it with something new, you must let go of something old, right? So when you recognize what kind of thoughts you're experiencing when you fall into that negative state, you recognize those thoughts. You maybe write them down to see what they mean to you, what's the value of these thoughts. And then you redirect your attention to maybe a new book, an inspiring book, or you watch this video. You know, this video would be no help for you if you would do nothing about it later. And most people don't do anything about it later because they don't let go of their past identity. They don't let go of that inner critic or negative ideas they have and still carrying on about themselves. So if you want to fully move through those transformative times, you must recognize that inner critic and slowly let go of the false ideas, false labels, false stories, so you can focus on new ones. And whatever we consistently repeat becomes a part of us, becomes our new identity. So recognize that. Another sign you may experience is that you've gained, like recently, you've gained more lessons than usually in a whole year. Like just recently, maybe in few weeks, few months, you've experienced more lessons for yourself than usually in a whole year or even more years. So that's what is happening right now. As energy is increasing, consciousness is rising, many people are waking up, it means that everything is happening faster. You're learning faster, you're growing faster, you're evolving faster. Because there's something bigger happening and most people don't see that. And what is happening is that we truly can't live anymore the way we used to live. If we want to move on, we need to change. We need to evolve consciously, spiritually. We need to evolve into that greater self. We need to truly manifest the higher self in this present physical form. And in order to do that, we need to gain lessons. And then we need to apply lessons so we can experience changes. Right? You can only manifest changes when you recognize the lessons in the challenges and then you apply them, right? So today in the morning I also wrote down a short quote, which was that you're exactly where you need to be to become who you're exactly where you need to be to become who you are meant to be. Remember that the greatest challenge is not a challenge itself, but seeing the lesson in it. And it is really true. Often we say, oh, it's so challenging, oh, it's so hard. But even the greater challenge is to see what this challenge is teaching us. But the hardest way is always the best way, because that's where we grow the most. So once you see a lesson in that hard moment or hard moments that are happening for you right now, you will finally experience that great release of tension, and you will say, oh, thank you, universe. Thank you, universe, that you brought me here, because I needed that. And that's why I said to you, you are exactly where you need to be to become who you are meant to be. So just express some gratitude for that. And gratitude is so helpful. Like every single day in the morning, I start writing things I'm grateful for. And to me, it's so interesting how everything, you know, at the beginning I start with basic things. I look around me and I say, oh, I'm so grateful that I can be where I am right now. Right now, me and Maya are traveling, and I say I'm so grateful that I can afford that. I'm so grateful that I can be here. I'm grateful for the nature. But then slowly you go deeper, and I start writing like, I'm so grateful for this emotion that I feel right now. I'm so grateful that I can sense those feelings. I'm so grateful for the goosebumps that I feel right now, as you know, the energy which is recharging my body, rejuvenating my body. I'm so grateful for the fresh air that I can breathe, and breathe is life. So I'm grateful for life, and I'm grateful for the thoughts that I can remind myself that I can be grateful. I'm grateful for the free will, so I can always choose what I want to think. I'm grateful for that, and I'm writing those things down. So remind yourself to be grateful. It will help you to see so much more lessons than ever before. And the last thing that I also noticed right now with many people, and also on myself, that you're gaining a greater trust into the universe. So this is really, really beautiful, but also hard for many people, how to gain trust into the universe. How to gain trust into something which maybe we can't see, like invisible force which is connecting all of us together. How is it possible that this is the most common story or a message I receive from people? People say, I saw such a similar vision as your painting way before I saw your painting, or way before I've seen your painting. So how is it possible that so many of us may experience a similar vision, but we are physically separated? You're wherever you are, I'm here, and because I've decided to paint it, I've put it out, and once it is on the canvas in front of me, people which saw similar vision may come to me and say, oh, I saw it in my meditation, I saw it in my dreams, I saw it, I felt it. How is it possible? Well, the only way to explain it is that we are all connected, you know, mind is actually all one, and our physical bodies are just extension of this one mind, and that one mind may be called spirit, great spirit. And that great spirit decided to experience itself in infinite possible different ways. So you're one extension of it, I'm other extension of it, and all of you right here are just other extension of this same one mind. And there's a beautiful synergy happening in that process, and it's a painting that I'm back at my home. I'm working on it for some time now. Really interesting painting, which is representing that synergy of creation. And that's what explains us that we are all connected. And in science, this great connection is called a divine matrix, or a great web of life. And it is beautiful, you know, when we just think about it. When we actually step beyond the perception of separation and we recognize that we are all part of one. We are all part of that one mind. And it's so beautiful because once we see that somebody is a really inspiring person, really loving person, really compassionate, open-hearted person, we can say to ourselves, well, that same potential is within me. Maybe I went through a different story. Different things happened to me in the past, but I have the same capacity to do what that person is doing, or even greater. Even that person is not reaching his or her full potential, so let's see what are my full potentials. And that's where we start tapping deeper into ourselves. And we never know where is the limit. Maybe there is no limits. Maybe we'll always be going through that spiritual awakening. If not here, somewhere else, in other lives, who knows, but it's always rewarding, you know? There is no competition, like who's more awakened. So therefore, we are always celebrating each other, and that's beauty. And to me, I'm more inspired for that and more excited about that than about anything else. That's what actually put me out of being fully into extreme sports. And I've started waking up to that greater realization that there's something more important than competition, and it is connection. Reminding or remembering back again that we are all part of one unity. Let's inspire one another. Let's grow together. Let's evolve together. Let's share insights together, and let's see where it will bring us. Let's have that great curiosity for the unknown, and let's just flow with that. Have the intention, you know, have that great vision for the future, what you want to experience. Have goals, you know, redirect your attention to what feels important to you, but flow with the changes. Don't feel attached to something you want to experience just because you're afraid that it will not happen. Go with the flow of the changes, and because you're focusing on what you want to experience, the universe will guide you. You are already attracted towards it, so just flow with it. And remind yourself that sometimes it may be what you're going through, it may be painful for the ego, but transformative for the soul. A hard day for ego is a bright day for the soul. And that's to me, it's a beautiful reminder always. It may feel painful because your ego is going through that pain, because you're slowly, you know, losing the parts of you which once you were defined by, but your soul is increasing its strength, its power, and you are becoming more soul and less ego. You are becoming more spirit and less just a person, and that's what is happening. So a hard day for ego is a bright day for the soul. So this is it for today. I will finish it here. I'm sending you all love, my friends. Love you all. I'm sending you power and blessings. Let's celebrate this beautiful experience. And once again, spread some love in the comment section. Let's see how much of love we can raise today on this beautiful another day. And I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting. Till next time, thanks to all of you for supporting my art in my Etsy shop. You're all truly appreciated. Have a wonderful day. One love.